then later we left there and we went to Laredo. And Uncle Frank wanted to go to Mexico. And I said, well, you know, I hadn't lost anything in Mexico. But he insisted on going to Mexico. Well, I had a rifle and a shotgun in the back seat. I just left it back there in case I want to shoot something, you know, along tin can or something. And then under my front seat, I had a gun belt with 2 Colt single actions on there, and they were pretty. They had stag grips, and they were, you know, they were real nice. Well, I forgot about all that stuff, and we drove on over into Mexico. We drove around a while and came out, and the Mexican side stopped us. And he looked, and I mean, there was the rifle and shotgun there, and he, you know, get out of the car and all this stuff. So I got out, and I thought, I forgot about that. And of course, Uncle Frank was talking, you know, you know.
He hadn't yet stopped.
Huh?
He hadn't yet stopped.
No, he hadn't stopped talking. And so, anyway, this Mexican, you know, whoever, general type, this is Army-like over there. Well, he looks, and he jabbers like, and here's about 25 Mexican soldiers there, you know, between 14 and 15 years old, look like. And they all go, with a bolt-action rifle, and I noticed nobody put the safety on. And I thought, this is not good. And, you know, I don't think Uncle Frank can handle this. And I don't know if I can. And anyway, then he went under the car seat and found my 2 guns. And he pulled them out, and I thought, well, I'm a goner now. And he said, are you a ranger? And I said, yeah. Oh, you want to sell? Oh, no, the town gave me those. You know, they really put it. And everybody, you know, stood down, you know, and all this stuff. And we went on.
You didn't
we
get shot.
We nearly went to jail in Mexico.
Did Uncle Bob Frank ever?
He didn't know what was going on. He was talking to somebody over there probably.
About Georgia.
Yeah. He was telling me that he was from Georgia, or both of us or something. Anyway.
He looked for people everywhere he went.
Yeah.
To be from Georgia.
Now you probably need this. We went one time to Gilmer. He heard there's Floyd for sure kinfolks up there. This is in the 50s. Went up there and found out where this old man lived, and it's out east of town. And there's an old house that had been cut into a real old-time house, and somebody sawed it into, and that's where he lived. And so we got to talking to him, and they immediately knew that they were kin and all this. Uncle Frank knew all of his folks. And he asked him about, well, you know, what, we had never had any contact. And he said, well, we came from Georgia, and he said, I was 2 years old. And said we had 1,000 head of cattle and something like, you know, like 100 or 200 slaves. And it took 2 years. We walked from Georgia, from, you know, like Salem area to Dallas, to where the black land was, north of Dallas, right in there where the black land was. So it took 2 years. And said we got there, and Indians were real bad. Comanches had come across there, and they just take everything and you know, shoot everything up and all this. And said it was real bad. So we came back to Gilmer and said Indians weren't bad there. The land wasn't good, but Indians wasn't bad. And said that's where we all settled. And said he was the last one living. But it was interesting. He told all about the trip, you know, what they did, and of course they had everything, all the slave families and all the white families came, and they was all Floyds, and they were in the wagons, you know, and it took 2 years to come from Salem to Dallas.
Did you see one of those rag sheets where Jesse James had hidden most of his treasures in Oklahoma?
Yeah, or one big one, yeah.
And they're still there, it's wherever you hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they found it.
Somebody will be rich when you come in.
Yeah. That's a wild place to look over. I've been over in there, but it's wild, and it's private property, a lot of it is. Anyway. That's another. They knew where the mistakes was. They hadn't had supply and everything. So they wanted to fight the North again. So they knew they had to have money. That's what beat them. So what they did, they organized a group called the Knights of the Knights of the Golden Cross. And their thing was to get gold and silver and money together enough to equip the South and whip the North. Okay, so what they did, they robbed banks and mints and all these, everybody that had a lot of money, and they robbed them all over the world. They sent groups to Europe, to Asia, they robbed in South America, and they brought it all to the United States. And they hid it in 12 different places. And each place had, like $10 billion. So they kept on getting money all the time and didn't get around to, rearming and battling again. Well, anyway, they, about 1915 or so, they had all got too old. They didn't want to fight anymore. They couldn't fight anymore. So then they organized their sons. Well, the sons, they wasn't bitter and they didn't want to fight. They didn't have, they didn't, they had heard all this stuff and they weren't bitter about anything because they'd gone on about their business. And so anyway, they organized the sons, but the sons never would act interested, so they never told them where the money was. But it's buried all over the South from, say, like Arizona, clean to Georgia. These great big depositories of, say, gold and silver.
Nobody's found them.
Yeah, they have found two or three treasure hunters have written their story. These were old men also, and they wrote about finding it. They found one, and one of them went back twice, and two or three others found it, and they got so much one time that they said, I won't ever have to go back again. They found so much gold, so many gold coins that they just sacked it up. But there's probably one, say like in the Big Bend area, there's one, where when you're going down Interstate 10 to Yuma, you go that way sometime, don't you?
Not for a long time.
Oh, okay. There's a town called Ajo down there. It's an Indian town. Okay, out from Ajo is where one of these are that's been found. And there's one or two in New Mexico. There's at least one in Texas, probably in the Big Bend country. And then they spread on back, all these 12 depositories, like billions.
That is when our daddy, when he was 78 years old.
Speak up.
He said, that is why our daddy, when he was 73 years old, said that when he got old and was going to retire, you and Edgar and him were going to retire to the Big Bend country. He never told you?
And go look for treasure.
Uncle Raymond told Claudia
And Olivia
that
when
he got old,
Olivia.
when he got old, that he and Edgar were going to the Big Bend.
Well, we talked a lot about treasure. I don't think I knew that then about that place there, but I knew there was something down there.
Well, he was always hunting treasure in Florida
Yeah.
because the pirates were supposed to bury
Yeah.
treasure in
But he
Florida.
was
Of course they
sincere
had.
about
He found a
retiring to the
whole
Big
lot
Bend.
of nails and a bunch of metal, but he never found any treasure.
But he was serious about going to Big Bend country with you. That's all he talked about.
Well, he liked to
Yeah.
go to the Big Bend country because it's pretty too.
Because it
Seems
had
like
money.
Edgar and Uncle Raymond had an awful lot in common.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they
There was
did
so much
because
alike.
they thought so much alike.
I feel like that you were like his son. He never had a
The son
son,
that
and
he
I
didn't
think
have.
that you were the closest that he ever had to
He
a
really
son.
did. He wanted to go with Edgar no matter where it was, but especially to the Big Bend country. And now I know there was money there.
I never
Yeah,
knew that.
well-
I don't think he knew it.
Yeah, I don't think I knew about that then.
He would have told you had he got close to going.
His story, like when he got recovered and went to California, and he went back in the Sierra Nevadas, but that was fascinating to me. When he went in with this old prospector, he said they went 3 months going up this canyon without seeing the sun. It was up there, but they were so deep in this canyon, the way the old timer knew where to go, that he never saw the sun for 3 months, which he had never.
He was looking for gold.
Yeah, that's those pictures where he's got the sluice box and
a beard.
well, I don't remember the beard, but I might not have noticed that. But he knew a lot about that stuff.
He was well aware.
Uncle Raymond's funeral and back there